Welcome back everyone. I'm really excited for today's video because we're starting a new series. And this series is going to be an upgrade / modification series. And our subject for this video series is this M4. This guy is an Echo 1 SEAL Team M4. I got it, a long time ago. This was actually one of the first hobby grade airsoft guns I ever bought. And it was around $200, $250, I believe, like 10 years ago. I've had this guy for a really long time. But today, or in this series, we are going to be upgrading it and see how good we can make it. It's an AEG, has semi and fully automatic like you'd expect. Not a super long barrel. It does have a metal quad rail up front, a collapsible stock, and we're running this off of an 11.1 LiPo. Alright, let's talk about what we're going to be doing in this series. I'm going to be taking this stock rifle and showing you how to do a bunch of the upgrades to your rifle. We're going to be getting a baseline of performance from this guy and testing stuff like FPS, rate of fire, and accuracy. And we're going to see which modifications are actually worth your time and money and which aren't. I'm going to take you step by step how to do those upgrades so that you can choose to do them yourself if they're beneficial. And we're going to see how good we can make this gun for probably as cheaply as possible. I don't know, we're probably going to stay on a little bit of a budget. I will be fully transparent with all of the pricing for everything that goes into this rifle. And I'm just going to show you every step of the way, and we're even going to compare some different price points on some of the upgrades to see if spending the extra money is worth it in the long run. Let's talk about the goal of this build in general. We're going for an accuracy build more than like a crazy rate of fire or anything like that. I just want the most accurate and consistent rifle that I can get. The main restriction I'm putting on myself is this has to stay field legal for my local fields in the rifle class, which means it's going to have to stay 400 feet per second or below. That being said, we are going to try to get as close to that 400 FPS number that we can. I want to get a decent rate of fire from this. It doesn't have to be huge because I'm mostly going to use this gun in semi-auto, so rate of fire isn't the most important, but I do want a very responsive trigger. So we're going to be trying a few upgrades to see how we can get the most responsive trigger feel that we can. This rifle is completely stock except for the optic that I'm using. It is an EVIC red dot. It came... This is the box that it came in. It was a fairly affordable optic. It's not one of the super cheap ones. I did spend $50 on this optic. I normally use a SIG Romeo 5. That is my preferred optic, but I wanted to test out a more budget-friendly red dot and see if I can get the same performance, because if I can, I'd love to spend the lower price point, obviously, and we don't have to worry about actual real steel gun recoil, so I don't think we're going to be losing our zero on our optic very easily. So hopefully we can go with a cheaper version like this and it perform just as good as the more expensive stuff. We'll find out during the series. I have no idea. Alright, the first thing we need to do before we actually get into the upgrades is we need to get a baseline of performance out of this rifle. So I will be putting it through some of the basic tests. We'll be getting its FPS, its rate of fire, and testing its accuracy. For all of the accuracy testing, we're going to be using the same bottle of Elite Force 0.28 gram BBs so that we can get as consistent of a test that we can. I'm going to be using the same setup, same distance. I am going to be seated using a table for support, and we're going to be shooting at the same distance every time so that we can really take any user error out of the accuracy and just see how the mods are doing on their own. I'm also going to be taking 10 shots at a target from a set range, and we're going to compare the accuracy on those, and we're looking for a more consistent pattern, not necessarily the most accurate on target. We're just looking for the best grouping possible, because you can always adjust your optic for the accuracy. You're just looking for a tight group. I think that's enough talking. Let's take this guy out and see how he performs. So I'll see you back here in a minute. Alright, we're all set up in the backyard to do our first accuracy test. I've got the stock rifle here. We're going to fire 10 shots down range and see how tight of a grouping we can get. Alright, that's all 10 shots. Let's go check out the target and see how we did. I'll see you back inside. Alright, we're back from testing and I have all of our numbers and I've pulled our target off and I've measured the distance of spread. But first, let's start off with the performance numbers. This guy shot 377 FPS, which is a pretty good starting point. We're already close to that 400 mark, and it was consistent at that 377. Knowing that now, I was definitely going to do a spring upgrade in this rifle. I've already bought the spring actually, but with those numbers, I'm kind of thinking that when we put in a tighter bore barrel, which normally ups your FPS anyway, we might increase too much with that new spring to stay under the 400 mark. But we'll see about that in further testing. Even if I don't end up needing to upgrade my spring, I will show you how to put a new spring into your rifle so that you can do it if you're following along and you don't have those same performance numbers. Next, it did shoot 20 rounds per second, and that was honestly my goal going in. As long as I could hit 20 rounds per second, I was going to be happy with the rate of fire. So now I don't really need to mess with the gearing ratio to increase the rate of fire, but I will be showing you how to do that anyway, so we might see how crazy we can go with the rate of fire. I don't know yet, but it's already shooting a good velocity and a good rate of fire, so we have a really good baseline for a rifle here. So kudos to Echo One for making a pretty darn good out-of-the-box rifle, especially one that's over 10 years old, I believe. Also, the reason I'm using this rifle is because it's the only unmodified M4 that I own, so it's the only one that I could really have a accurate baseline for this modification. And I've been letting friends borrow this for years on the field, and I've had no complaints with it, and it's still running like a champ. So good job, Echo One. This rifle's awesome. Love it. Let's get to the accuracy. So I have our target here, and all 10 shots were on target. We've got 2 in each of these positions, and as you can see, the horizontal spread isn't too bad, but the vertical spread is not the best. From our 2 farthest hit points, this top one and this bottom one, is 173 millimeter difference, which isn't massive right off the bat. That would probably still hit your target on the field, but we definitely want to bring that grouping in much tighter. So I think this is a really good starting point for this rifle, and we'll be able to see exactly what the modifications do and if they make it better and what's actually worth your time and money to do. I am very much looking forward to this series, and I really hope this is going to help some of you out there who want to get into modifying your rifles but just don't know exactly how to do it. That's going to be it for this first episode. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you're as excited about this series as I am, and hopefully we can make this already pretty good rifle much better and much cooler. I have a pretty fun idea for the first upgrade for this rifle. I'm really looking forward to it, and it's something that I don't normally do, so that can be pretty fun. I really hope you're looking forward to this series and that all of you get some valuable knowledge out of this for your own modification and airsofting fun. So as always, thank you so much for watching. I'm Travis, and I'll see you next time.